Did you know that selling is the most important method for building a business? How would you like it if I told you that building your customers' trust can take your selling and your business to new heights? The truth of the matter is this: there is an order of events that lead to trust. But once you have trust, everything becomes relatively effortless in selling. No, like trust, there are three ways and three strong foundations building your trust successfully. This is what I will be talking about tonight. You will want to stick around for this so you can hear what I have to share about these three foundations. Hi, my name is Leavona. I have been creating businesses for over 25 years. Welcome to the Leavona Show. Like I said before, there is an order of events that you must play out that will ultimately lead to trust. I want you to see it as a life cycle. One thing leads to the next, and so on. Let's talk about the cycle. The first thing you need is to get them to know you. They have to know who you are first before they can decide if they like you. After a while, you will begin to like them. From liking, the trust will follow. It gets progressively easier the farther you go into the cycle. The farther they get, the easier it will be to sell them. Let's talk about the first and hardest part: getting them to know you. At the beginning of the cycle, they don't even know you exist. Getting them to know you exist is the hardest part of it all. The key here is you will need to build up the ability to make strong first impressions. It is what it is. Whether it's fair or not, that's how it is. We have to accept the fact that people will decide if they want to give you a chance within mere seconds. Whatever your personal problems are, you have to leave them at the door. Smile, relax, and focus on serving the person in front of you. This is not about them. This is not about you. You are a spiritual being, and so they can read you, connect with them, demonstrate expertise, compassion, and understanding with regards to their problem. This approach works no matter the atmosphere. It works for sales meetings, as well as for capturing people's attention throughout your content, etc., etc. Once you have gained their initial approval, you have bought yourself a little more time, a little more wiggle room, if you will. Now is your chance to let them get to know you more. Continue to smile. Be respectful. Now you have more time to further demonstrate your expertise, your compassion, and understanding with regards to their problem. The only difference is now you will do these three things in more detail. During this time, feel out the potential customer's reaction. Smile when they smile. Let out a chuckle if they laugh. You are there to serve them. Make them comfortable. Business is all about the experience that people have with you. How you make them feel is everything. So, we have talked about getting people to know you. The only thing is this alone is not going to be enough. They have to decide that they like you next. Otherwise, you have no hope of selling anything to them. The reality is this: if you've done what I've talked about so far, you are well on the way. But the truth is, you cannot ultimately decide if people are going to like you. It is not your job to worry about this. You've demonstrated that you have expertise. You have compassion and understanding concerning their problem. You will continue to do so throughout the conversation. You have been respectful and kind and chosen to put their interests first and to give them a good experience in their first interaction with you. Whether or not they like you is a spiritual thing that is going to happen or not happen. People either click or they don't. If they don't like you, at first, it's probably a good thing for the both of you. You can choose to go separate ways and no one is harmed. The fact of the matter is this: it's not up to you to make people like you. You can't force it. Be natural and kind and show good etiquette. This is your job. Whatever will be, will be. It is meant, if it is meant to be. Some will take you and some wouldn't. Go further into the relationship with people who do like you and respectfully increase the distance with those who don't. Pray and trust God to send you the people who will like you. You want to do business with people who will like you and who will not just focus on themselves. Trust Him for favor, and your needs will be met in the marketplace. The last phase of the cycle is the most beautiful, the trust phase. You have given the prospect the chance to get to know you. Then you give them room to decide whether or not they like you. Now, if you have shown good business etiquette, you have already done your best, and hopefully they do accept you. The natural outflow of this process is trust. Now, I don't want you to miss this. Trust is not to be taken lightly. It is risky to give anyone your trust. Please keep this in mind and continue to earn theirs. Never violate the confidence they have placed in you. If you take this advice to heart, you will earn and win in business. That I can assure you. That being said, let's talk more about the beauty of trust. The fact is, selling is not about using sneaky tricks to bait people into believing your claim for short-term gain. It's far better to build the trust the right way and keep it over the long term. Reputation spreads fast. Violate trust, lose. Keep their trust, and your reputation will go towards the moon. Then business will keep coming your way. Truth of the matter is always this: trust is the key ingredient that makes the art of selling more effortless than anything else you can do. Respect these laws of business and relationships, and you will succeed in the long term. I hope what I shared with you tonight was impactful and that you can gain something, if hopes be a lot of things, from it. Thank you for watching the show. At this part, we move on to announcements, and I want to tell you that we have the Exceptional Seller's Mindset. That is a live show that we're going to be giving to you. We did a webinar, I think, last week, and it was a success in our eyes. There are many things that have to be ironed out as we continue to develop. And we were very happy and thank God for the way the webinar went the first time. We will be doing the next webinar next week. And as we come closer to it, we will start talking about it more. Okay, that webinar is free and it's just something to, get you more, a little more in detail about our sales techniques and what's not. At this point of the evening, I always do something that we call the why factor. The why factor. Okay. So I'm gonna do the why factor. I'm a little rusty on this part here. Okay, so what is the why factor? Years ago, I had another channel that was called Vivi's Views. And every time I always delved in to speaking to people and my customers about how important it was for us to be conscious of how precious life is. Many of us, as you know, we have lost a lot of people through COVID, and we're still losing them today. And so, what I want to say to you tonight is that our days are not always smooth and flow. Sometimes they're bumpy, they're rocky, and they're full of problems. I had such a day today. And sometimes we have to fight to make it to the next step or to the next level. The phones are going, problems are coming in, somebody needs you. When you sit down and you think you have a break, here comes another problem. But it is better for us to have problems than to just have nothing at all. No one calling, no one checking, no one wants your advice. It's almost like you're already dead. So I always used to say, I have to choose my poison. I rather people call me and ask me and need my advice than for me to be forgotten in a room where there is no activity. No one remembers. No one knows that your birthday passed 5 days ago. Not one single phone call came. No one remembers Christmas and Easter and all these holidays that you hope that they would. Everybody's going on with their lives. You know, the other person out there in the other part of the world or the hemisphere might not be cognitive of what they're doing, but we don't have to join them. We can say, I will make the difference. And even though things were hectic today, and people were calling me left, right, and center, and this was broken, and that was broken, and that's going wrong, I choose today. I made the choice today to be kind, to be thoughtful, to be patient. I have a lot of elderly customers who call me sometimes because family members have kind of distanced themselves. The elderly have the tendency to repeat things over and over and over, or they forget where they were and then they have to start all over again. And sometimes family members, or they repeat the same things over and over, And sometimes family members, with their lives being as fast as they have, their kids, getting them to the Bible study or to the football game in the afternoons, whatever it is we do to keep ourselves occupied and to keep the children out of trouble. We're always chasing, going somewhere. And so when you have to listen to grandma talk And then she forgets and she goes back and she repeats. It's like she's on a cycle, if you will. I spoke about a cycle here tonight. And she just goes on. You tend to feel like, well, I don't want to be bothered. But I'll tell you a little story. Years ago, my grandmother told me about this story. Okay. I'm going to tell you a story about something that happened as I was growing up. My grandmother used to sit us down around her on our back steps, you know. We lived in the country. I don't know. I think you might have heard about Guyana, Essequibo, and how we finally broke into a lot of oil, and there are so many barrels of oil that come out of our country. I have family in Essequibo. I have family in the city, and I grew up in Essequibo. And my grandmother told us a story one day. She said, Pig, say, Mama, why your mouth so long? And Mama say, now worry, son. Here come, here come. Okay, so what I basically did to you there, I spoke in Creole, so now I'll explain it. There was a pig who had a son, a little piglet or whatever, and the baby pig said to her, to the mother, Mommy, why is your mouth so long? And the mother said, don't worry, son. Here come, here come. In other words, don't worry about how my mouth is long. Your mouth will one day be just as long. I use this story to bring the analogy of how we sometimes get tired when grandma calls, and grandma might want to go on, and you're trying, and oh my gosh, grandma just goes and she goes. You're telling grandma that, grandma, it's 10 o'clock now, it's 11 o'clock, grandma. I love you, grandma. And then grandma starts the cycle all over again, and she wants to know, did you read your Bible today? Did you accept Jesus? And she's going on and on. She's just caught in this loop, right? And so you can say, oh my gosh, I think when grandma calls, I may have to not take her calls because I can't get her off the phone and I can't get through to her. What am I supposed to do? I don't know what you can do in the circumstance with the grandmas of this world. But the mere fact that they can pick up the phone and call you is because they miss you. I don't have the solution to every problem in this world, but what I do know, wherever and however you can, be good to grandma or grandpa. Last night I spoke to you guys about calling them. Don't say, well, look, I'm the mother, they're supposed to call me. No, you check on them too. Love is a two-way street. And with regards to grandma, you will have to make your judgment. I'm not in your house. I don't know your time schedule. I don't know how much sleep you need before you go to your business or before you go to your job the next day. So you have to know. But what I can say is that you have to find somehow, some way to let grandma's missing you. She missed you. That's why she picked up the phone and she called. So maybe you might want to shower her with love and say, Grandma, it's okay, Grandma. We don't have to talk about that. Try to see if you can break the loop. I just want to tell you that I miss you. Start bringing up a story of something that she did when she was younger, because we don't know when Grandma can pass. And the most frightening part of this whole cycle business is that just like the pig told its little piglet, don't worry, here come, here come. Don't worry, one day you're going to get old too. Do unto others as you would have them do unto yourself. If you're good to grandma, if you're good to grandpa, if you're good to a brother who is sick, and he wants to talk, and oh, he's washing away and he wouldn't shut his mouth. You don't know how long you have with him. You don't want regrets in your life. You don't want when you lay down to sleep at nights, you have to moan and toss and groan in your sleep because you did wrong things. We have a conscience, and if cockroach hasn't eaten it out, you want to keep yours as clean and pure as you can. All right? So, in closing, I want to tell you this. Today, I went into great details about like and trust, right? The topic that I did today, let me double check. We move so fast. Know, like, and trust. And when you think about knowing and liking somebody, there's a story that everybody can attribute to having somebody know you, like you, and trust you. When it comes to business, this is something that you really have to gain knowledge, and you have to be able to nail this one down. Because in my 25 plus years, I have found that if I could sell, that was it. Sales is everything. Everything, everything, everything. Once you know how to sell, you're good. It's like my grandmother used to tell me. She says, if you know how to use the skill in your hand, and if you know how to cook and bake, you will never be hungry, she said to me. So that is what she had in her hands. So she taught me the skill of using my hands to cook and to do the things that I did. So I want to give you a quick story before we close out. Years ago, I got a call from a doctor. This is when I had started the cleaning service. And the doctor asked me, she had been referred to by some other doctors, and she asked me if I could come and estimate the home for her so that I could put her on my schedule. She asked me if I had openings and what's not. And I went in. And, we had to sit down and we went through all those things that I taught you about, getting her to trust me, to like me, and then make the commitment for the price that I called. Over the course of the years that I had to go to her, I would sometimes find that she left money on the bed, or that I would find money when I moved the basket where the laundry was sitting. It's like, sometimes they cleaned up before you came in because we didn't clean clutter. So they had to have the place presentable so we could do the technical parts of what we do, the exceptional technicalities. And so I would find money all over the place. And not once did I feel tempted to take the money and say, oh, she's rich. Oh, she doesn't know this. How could all this money be here? How rich can they be that they could drop $400 between the vanity and the laundry basket? And every time, with the integrity given to me by Christ, I would take the money, clean the place, and leave it on the dresser. No, like, trust. That is what they did with me, When I walked into their living room and we sat at the dining room table and we talked, and I told them what I was worth and what I wanted, they acquiesced to that. They said yes. So if they said yes to me, they must have trusted me to now give me a key and say, you can come anytime you want. This is the time that we get home. Just have it all cleaned up for me so I come home to a clean house. So, how could I go and trust them? That is one. What if that is a trap they set for me to see if they can trust me more? You see my point? Sometimes they will like you, they will know, and they will have to still test you because these were doctors, surgeons, people who had a lot of money. And yes, the knowledge of me came to them from other doctors referring me. But the other doctors have their own relationship. I'm going into their space. They don't really know me in their, you understand? I'm going into their friends' space, but I don't know them in theirs, and they don't know me. They know enough to trust me to say, come, let's have a talk. And then with smiles, we committed, we shook hands, and I have the contract now to clean that house. As to what teams I'm going to put in, I don't know yet. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it. Sometimes when it was a big hitter, I would break the house, and then I would assign it to one of my teams. Know, like, and trust. All of that gets done in the short time that you sit in front of them as you make an estimate. On this internet game, know, like, and trust may take me longer. You guys have many, many, many things to look at. Many business owners. Some of them are wannabe business owners. Some of them wish that they knew how to start a business, but they have studied, they've invested thousands and thousands of dollars studying, and so they know what to say. So trust comes a long way. It takes longer on this front. But most of the times, a seller has to go in and close the deal right there and then. They have to close the deal. There's no coming back. It's that first impression, bada bing, bada boom. You got to get it right there. So all that I spoke about tonight goes within a certain window of time. And you smile and you laugh and you shake hands, and then finally you know you're leaving out because you have the deal. Over here, I have to work harder. Now, like I said, know, like, trust. The customer was referred. I was referred to them, so it was easier for me. When you go in on a referral, it's easier. I had an incident where my customer called me one day. I had expanded, I scaled up, and I went through a certain agency. And I did not know that the agency lied to me, did not tell me that they were working with people who had been released from the prisons. And I remember putting 2 people in the house. I never, we had the background check. We did everything. But whom we put to do the background check was somebody who overseered these people that they were giving breaks to. And all I know is that the doctor called me and she says, Leah? She says, yes. I said, yes, ma'am. She says, Leah, somebody stole my credit card and they bought gas at the gas station down by my house. I said, really? I have been with you for 10 years. You never had a problem. She says, Leah, I'm not lying to you. I had to stop the credit card. And I said, let me see. I said, we did do some expansion and I mentioned the 2 names that I had in there. And I said, I have to look into this. I said, I'm so sorry. And you know, like, trust. In the end, we got to the bottom of it. We found out that one of the people that went in there was one that was referred from the prison system. And I went and sat with them again and had a discussion and explained the situation, apologized to them. She did not want the money to be refunded, but you know what she did? She said, Leah, I have known you for 10 years. You're serving my family. And I trust you. I trust you because I've never had a problem. And when money used to drop on my bed or wherever, you would always put it in a place where we found it or leave a note on the fridge. She says, I trust you and I do not want our relationship to end. But what I'm going to ask you to do is that this young man, or whatever his name is, could never, ever clean my house again. Love, to know you, to like you, and to trust you. And sometimes it goes further in the cycle. They grow to love you because you become like family. You're serving them for so long. So that's my story today about knowing, right? Knowing them, having them know you, having them like you, and having them trust you. Please be careful and do not make that mistake if you are service-based. Or even if you have an internet, or you have a business on the internet, you know that we do have to have people coming in to help us. We might be on the internet, but we do have to have an office where people actually come and take care of certain things. We have to know when we're scaling up that we double check and triple check whom we are bringing on board, because we do not work this hard to build, to have some thief come and break and destroy our business. Know, like, trust. You have to know, like, and trust your customers. Your customers have to know, like, and trust you. And you have to know, like, and trust the employees that you're hiring. Thank you. God bless you. I was watching a video the other night and the one guy said, you owe me something. Hit that like button. Oh my gosh, people are getting so bold and so desperate. All I'm going to do, guys, is just say, be good. Be good to me as I'm good to you. You know I need the likes. You know I need the time. When you come to my channel, please, I work hard to get the material. My husband is having to go into my brain, re-engineer everything. He's having to take it out from me. I'm telling him what I did, how, right? Because I never thought to write anything down. It's all up in here. And now I'm trying to get it out to serve the world and to serve my family in the event that God takes me home. I feel that it's too powerful for me to go back to him with it. I don't want for him to say, what have you done with the gifts that I give you? And I say, oh, well, I put it up in my head. And some time ago when I was a little girl, my grandma told me that if I made cake, I must leave out one ingredient because I have to hold the business. It took me a long time, based on what she told me, for me to want to give away my family secrets. For years, I had to protect what I had. I would hire people to come in the cleaning service and they would try to steal my techniques. It is just a very dog-eat-dog world out there. And in a way, I understand what Grandma used to say. But what can I do with it in my grave in a rotten brain? I just have to try, reverse engineer it and get it out to you guys. So in closing, I say with my long-winded self tonight, I just ask you to be kind to me. My husband and I work hard to bring the productions. We're trying to get better so we can serve you better. And I'm asking you that when you come, if you cannot spend the whole time on the video, at least spend a certain time that YouTube will see it, will see that you're giving me the views and they can keep pushing me out to more people. All right? And one day you never know how I can help you. Like, share it, subscribe to the channel, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. God bless you. Good night.